Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Talisha.
And this is Beatty.
There
this
you
is
are.
This is Logic Speak.
We're back.
Yes, we
You
are.
have to forgive us. We're having some technical difficulties today.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that going on. Hey, I know before we start the show, and I know it's just something that crossed my mind. I remember we was talking about defunding the police the last time, and we was questioning about, like, how would that work, and I know you had brought up to me about the Camden, New Jersey, where it actually did work out.
Mhm.
And they created, like, a community thing. Just touching bases back on that. But
Yeah.
did a little research with it, and yeah, it turns out it does work out. Basically defunding certain people that were overpaid or certain areas that had too much attention in it, where other areas were needed. So I guess in a sense, they created like a community-based thing there, and it worked out well.
I agree. I noticed that there was someone that put out that kind of showed what the police funding looks like in most cities. And one of the big comparisons that I saw that kind of shocked me a little bit was them talking about how, during this pandemic, the police haven't run out of bullets. They haven't run out of any of the things that they need, but our medical community didn't have masks.
Right.
And I was like, oh. And then when I looked at the numbers, it was like police are funded heavily, but, a lot of that goes into some of the lawsuits that they have to deal with, millions of dollars to pay off people that have been wronged by the justice system. And I just wondered,
Right.
what we could do to make that, not be not such a big thing that we have to keep paying for. And not saying we shouldn't pay for it, but I'm saying we stop it from being a thing that happens so often.
Well, I guess that's what's bringing us to the title of the show today. About the media and the images that plays a part in how things, come to fruition. Basically, these thoughts that people just manifest about what they feel isn't that idea of an African American or a black person in America.
Now, we talked about how people always say, where are the black leaders? Like, where's the black leader? Where's the leader of this community? Which is real confusing because who said we had
my
a leader?
idea of that. My idea of that is like, to me, it sounds like a call for the HNIC or maybe the House Negro in charge. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know Dave Chappelle touched on it, and I love how passionate he was. If anybody hadn't seen it, it's 8:46. Dave Chappelle's got a YouTube special, and it's pretty deep. I don't even know if you want to call it a comedy special, but I know that he really was being real. But
Right.
To add to that, he spoke on it in the show where he was like, Don Lyman or whatever his name is, was asking him, asking celebrities, well, where are they at? How come they hadn't spoke up or said anything? Like Dave Chappelle said, he's been saying it for years. I know you had Colin Kaepernick kneeling, and people have been saying things. You've had people spoke out, but it's been mocked or been told that it was, seen as disrespectful because, This is in the middle of a football game, and this is more important than people dying innocently. And I actually thought that was one of the craziest excuses that I used to hear from people. I used to be like, I get it, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like, looking at it from the other side, if the shoe was on the other foot and something was going on, I mean, I know that they would be blasting commercials left and right, about the suffering that they go through and dealt with, and I just thought that was kind of crazy of some of the excuses that we hear. But again, back to the black leader thing, I've always felt like, well, back to what Dave Chappelle spoke on, it was like he felt like the streets would speak for themselves. And at this point, it's pretty much what we have to do. I mean, we don't really need to hear from any so-called black leaders, and on top of that, with that being said, I think we need to encourage more leadership, not just one leader. I think it's crazy to just look to one person. When you knock the head off, the body falls. And I think if you're going to be a leader,
right,
that you should be thinking the leadership as in a way of bringing everybody to the same level of knowledge of where you at. So if anything should happen to you, the movement can keep on moving.